My name is Anna, and you might have guessed I'm from Ukraine by looking at me because I'm wearing our traditional embroidered shirt, vyshyvanka. Some of you know that I've started vlogging straight after brutal Russian invasion and try to update you on important things in my country during these challenging times. But I also want to remind you, Ukraine is not limited to war, and there are many beautiful things to discover in my country. And today I want to introduce you to the craft and art of Ukrainian embroidery. Ukrainian embroidery is not limited to vyshyvanka, an embroidered shirt. It is an art. It is a hobby. It is a part of extremely important events in the life of a person and our daily routine. Embroidery can be found in the design of a house, in some really modern things, and of course back in our history. So let's begin with history. The earliest samples of embroidery found on the territory of Ukraine date back to the 7th and 3rd centuries before Christ, which is the Scythian period. Old Scythians decorated their tunics, belts, and sometimes even weapons like swords with embroidery. They believed it protects them from evil spirits and carried embroidery as a talisman. Even nowadays, you can find similar understanding of an embroidered shirt or some other elements in the clothes of a person. St. Sophia Cathedral in Kyiv, which is a part of the UNESCO heritage, is a special place, a magical place, and actually a storage of information. Its walls are decorated with frescoes which tell a lot about everyday life of medieval Kyiv Rus. And embroidery is a part of the decoration of St. Sophia Cathedral. Also, back in the 11th century in Kyiv, there were schools where girls learned how to embroidery using silver and gold. Actually, Kyiv Rus society was extremely educated, and embroidery was treated as a part of artistic life, not just a household chore. Many foreign travelers who visited Ukraine from 15th and up to the 19th century, even in their very serious documents and chronicles, mentioned the beauty of Ukrainian embroidery. Though in that period embroidery was mainly a female task, and many of them had to sew specific embroidered clothes for all the family. Nowadays it is still more popular among women, but I do know a couple of men who are even better at embroidery. Understanding that embroidery is an important part of Ukrainian life in the 20th century, with the development of technology, there appeared a lot of factories working on machine embroidery. But still, the best vyshyvanka is handmade. Now the whole world knows about the embroidered Ukrainian shirt. But embroidery is a part of different designs. You can buy fabric with embroidery and design it the way you want. You can use it as a decoration for pillowcases or, for example, rushnik, a towel. It is an important and extremely symbolic part of many Ukrainian traditions. And, for example, our churches have lots of towels that decorate icons. This is a part of religious life in Ukraine too. I will try to enumerate the things that I have seen decorated with embroidery, but this list can be really long. Of course, these are shirts, trousers, skirts, aprons, bedcloth, which is beautiful, lots of kitchen things like towels, like bedcloth, bench cloth, kerchiefs, bags, anything. So what makes embroidery so important in Ukraine? Apart from its obvious beauty, of course, the symbolism that stands behind every pattern and every color. The tradition to decorate clothes with embroidery dates back to pagan times, and some of these symbols have direct connections with nature, with the sun, with the universe, but many of them have got their new Christian senses. People still believe that some ornaments protect you from evil, Russia, bad eye. Others bring you good luck, fortune, protect your harvest, give you love. What is also interesting, magical about Ukrainian embroidery is the fact that literally every region, every village, and sometimes I have this feeling like every family has its own tradition of embroidery, its own set of patterns. But at the same time, when you gather all of these embroidered things in a museum from different parts of Ukraine, you can clearly recognize all of them are Ukrainian, all of them are united with this peculiar Ukrainian style. Of course, there are different colors, there are different ornaments, but perhaps the most popular combination is black and red. But let's look into these regional peculiarities that can be found on vyshivankas. In general, there are plant, floral, geometrical and zoomorphic ornaments. And for example, floral and plant embroideries are very popular in southern, central and eastern Ukraine. And in the western part of Ukraine, geometrical patterns were dominant. On many embroidered shirts, you can find roses. And typically they symbolize youth, love. They were often used on wedding dresses and are associated with young people. Oak leaves symbolize strength and masculinity, and typically you see oak leaves on the vyshivankas of men. Maybe you can even remember President Zelensky wearing one like that. The symbol of an oak is really old. It dates back to Slavic times, and of course it stood for masculinity. Poppy flowers are also popular on vyshivankas, and typically they connect a family with its roots, or sometimes they remind about Mary, Saint Mary. I come from Western Ukraine, and somehow I like geometrical patterns that are dominant in this part of my country. And this geometry is not simple too, and typically it resembles the landscapes of your native land that are later recreated on your vyshivanka. A tree of life is a very popular pattern on Western Ukrainian vyshivankas. Roots stand for past, trunk for present, and the crown for future. And of course, on such tree, every branch or every flower represent someone from the family. So literally, you carry all of your family with you on your vyshivanka. Triangles are also very common. In pre-Christian times, they stood for three elements: water, air, and fire. But now they stand for Holy Trinity. 8-pointed stars are also very popular, and they represent a combination of masculine and feminine energies. Sigmas are symbols of water that give life to everything on the planet and also protect the owner of such shirt from everything evil. Birds are also very common dwellers of Ukrainian vyshivankas. Just birds represent guards that protect us from everything. Doves stand for peace or romantic love. Swallows mark the beginning of life, spring, resurrection, and storks protect toddlers. Now, talking about the colors, they also mean a lot and are often connected to the region they represent. Personally, I was looking for this embroidered shirt really long because I didn't want it to be traditional black and white. I wanted some other color combinations. And green and blue reminds me of my very foresty region with lakes. I don't know why. These are my personal associations. Poltava region in the heart of Ukraine is known for its white-on-white embroidery, which looks very exquisite, and also on open side embroidery. In central and eastern Ukraine, the combination of black and red, blue and red are very common. In western Ukraine, and especially in the Carpathian Mountains where Hutsuls live, they like contrasting colors, and vyshivankas and towels and all the embroidered decorations can be really bright with the combination of yellow, green, black, dark green, and I like it a lot. But perhaps the richest patterns come from Bukovina region, which is close to Chernivtsi. Their vyshivankas are very heavily decorated and can even include golden and silver threads and glass beads to make it more prominent. If you'd ask me what vyshivanka I want, perhaps one from Bukovina region. They are very rich, aristocratic, I'd say. And patterns from my native lands, Volyn, Polisia, are very archaic, did not change much, and this also makes them interesting. And the traditional color combinations are blue and red, blue and black, and looking pale, they look very fashionable and interesting too. Embroidery is definitely a part of Ukrainian national identity, and I'm not speaking just about wearing embroidered things, but also about embroidering. And I think you will not find a person in Ukraine that does not know how to embroider. I embroider well, and Sasha also knows how to embroider. And in general, this is a really good pastime. This is a way to relax, to meditate, and at the same time to create art and to protect your old traditions, your family traditions, your regional traditions, and your national traditions. Let me know in the comments below, do you have vyshivanka? Would you like to have one? And what specific ornaments do you like? Also, I want you to remember that anyone can learn to embroider. And if you want, I can give you some links to the videos where people are taught this craft and this art. Thank you so much for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons, but most importantly, thank you for supporting Ukraine. There are so many beautiful things that we need to protect together. Slava Ukraini!